Well, like most kids, I was making a noise, hitting things, which my mum thankfully gave me a really small drum kit and just left me in a room with some music. And basically I just grew to love playing from being a kid, completely self-taught. I was a session musician when I was 18, playing with people like Brand New Heavies, James Taylor Quartet, lots of indie bands at the time in England. And I was going to raves and never really associated playing at these, and then one day the typical thing at a party with some bongos, and that sort of took my career in that direction. So, and I did that for 10 plus years until I sort of developed the whole electronic thing. And I've been using electronics as well as hand percussion since. So it's just evolving still, hopefully. I've never actually had a proper job. So doing well so far, 20 years later. I can blame my mother initially. She brought me here when I was 11. Obviously I didn't know anything that was going on. I remember sitting at Cafe Del Mar, and it was the only place there, and a much smaller, you know, local Spanish place. And over the years I've just kept coming back. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been here. Just has that sort of magnetic pull, you know. But now, obviously, doing what I'm doing, for this summer period, the world comes here. You know, the best DJs, the best clubbers. You know, it's people that really care and are really into it. It's kind of like the 60s here. Is if you remember it, you weren't there. But no, I mean, a lot of, as I say, over the years I've been coming and just getting to see the best of the best. In a lot of the great parties, it's the after party or a random one in the hills somewhere, or, you know, it has that energy here where the unknown or the unexpected, you find yourself involved with it, you know. I mean, I've got to say, just the outdoor terrace of space over the years has been the place for me. Just the music and the vibe, you know. And I find myself playing there every week now, which is, it's like winning an Oscar, you know. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, okay. So I pinch myself every time just before I play, and just check that is happening. I record quite a lot actually over the years. I've worked with, recorded with like Lisa Marie Experience and people like that. I've been in the business a while, so without stalking people over years, you end up working with them, either DJing and then end up in the studio. I've got my own studio and I've got my own album that I made a couple of years ago, which is done reasonably well. I've never actually signed anything, I've just kept it digital, and that's all sort of ticking over, continuing to collaborate with people. I worked with Mark Doyle many years ago, just as before the brand as we know it existed. And over the years I've kept in touch with all the guys I work with, and it wasn't until I think 4 years ago that I actually properly got involved, and I've played all over the world with them. I'm worldwide resident all year round, which is fantastic. I've got to play, you know, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Tokyo, Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok. I've been to the Middle East. I've been to South America. You know, it's a fantastic band to be involved with. I've worked with Carl Cox. I've played with, you know, Tall Paul, Seb Fontaine, Jeremy Healy. You know, probably 100 plus of the best DJs, and they all, for having the same setup, more or less, they all do something different, you know, and that's the special that I like to find that little bit to, you know, when I'm working with them or when I'm going out. Tagging a favourite would be unfair. I love them all. But I'm working with loop players and doing within the studio, what I'm doing recording wise now is trying to work out a system that I can actually then go and do that live, or fairly easily transfer that to something live, whether that's with other musicians or as a solo act. So that's sort of ongoing, and through the winter now, or autumn winter, that hopefully I'm gonna surprise people again with something, you know. Yeah, well, you've got to believe in yourself. I think you should copy people, but at the same time, copy by learning what you like and what you don't, you know, and taking, obviously there's the technicalities, you know, having the confidence to, you know, to do that. But don't be afraid to go out and try stuff. In a band years ago, we ended up in a pub. It's almost a gig from hell, and we were playing to one man and his dog, and the dog fell asleep. So you know, after experiences like that, you know, I'm now playing at space. It's like you've got to believe. Do you know what I mean? The love of music kept me going. It's not always about, you know, hierarchy or money, or, you know, that helps, but, you know, if it's not in your heart, then, you know, I would say you've got to believe in yourself, but at the same time be prepared to take influences from what's going on, you know, have confidence and belief, you know. At the end of the day, it's a hard business, you know, like anything. If you're going to be self-employed or work for yourself at anything, whether you're a plumber or a carpenter or a DJ, you've got to take the knocks, you know, and then the pluses, they mean that much more, you know. I think you have to do the legwork and just be patient as well, you know. Everyone wants it now.
Every day and